Hello, Professor. On the behalf of my team, I'm Gurminder Singh, and this is our presentation for Assignment 3, that is Sentiment Analysis. We are a group of 5 members. Kavya, who has developed the user interface for this analysis, Kavirat Singh John, who has developed the Python code for this scrapping and further analyzed it, and I, Gurminder Singh, who has researched these news outlets and gathered some topics that we have to analyze for, and Sargun Singh Walia, who has visualized this data and made some comparisons graph as well in Tableau. Now, Bala Prathima, who has used MongoDB as a database and used the raw file that we created from the Python code. Now, a project overview. Scrapping RSS feeds from news outlets such as CNN and BBC News is major. These two are majorly used news outlets in the market, and we used a web application to display them in the future. Now, database such as MongoDB is used to store the collected data from these news outlets, and then we retrieve them from to display in the future. Now, for analysis part, we have used Tableau and made some comparisons graph from the above the topics that we have chosen. Now, the tools used are Python for programming and MongoDB for database and Tableau for visualization, as well as two news outlets that we have chosen for this analysis is BBC and CNN News. Now, what is sentiment analysis? Yeah, the practice of applying natural language processing and text analysis techniques to identify and extract subjective information from a piece of text. This is called sentiment analysis. We are determining some relevant information and expressions from this, such as positive, neutral, and negative, and to what extent or degree they are. And it also analyzes and measures human emotions and convert it to hard facts. All this combines together into a sentiment, and for this assignment we are doing this sentiment analysis. Now, code will be explained by Kavya, and for the further presentation, I hand over this to Kavya. Thank you.
Hello everyone, today I'll explain you about the code which we did in Python using py-charm. So this is our main Python file which we are doing, and we are using some libraries to do the code. Flask because we are using web application. We are using TextBlob because we are doing sentimental analysis with the help of TextBlob. Request because we are making the request from HTTP. Beautiful Soup we are using because we are doing scrapping. We are scrapping the data. Mongo client we are using because we are using MongoDB. CSV we are using because we are saving the data in CSV format. Then we are saving in database. Pandas we are using to make the analysis. So basically first we have to make the database connection with the Mongo client. So this is a database connection. This is a variable DB in which we are saving the connection. So we are using Flask to make the web application. So basically we are using Flask to, and our default root is index.html, which we are doing in the starting. Next we are using BBC, in which we are showing all the feeds from the BBC top stories. So in this we are using BBC function. This is the URL for the BBC in which we are fetching the feeds. I'll show you. This is our BBC URL, top stories of BBC. Here are some of the BBC news which we are fetching in the code. Next we are, with the help of request, we are getting the data from the HTTP. Beautiful Soup we are using to scrapping the data in the XML format. We are getting in the BBC, we are find all items so that we can get the data. We are making an array of BBC. In this array, we are saving BBC title, description, BBC link, BBC data. In this item, with the help of scrapping, we are getting the title, description, link, and publishing date. After that, we are filtering the data as basis of the keyword. So we have chosen the keyword of Corona. So our topic is Corona. Then we are in the data frames, we are saving title, description, link, and date. Then we are saving the data in CSV so that we can have a record. Then we are converting data frames to the dictionary so that we can save in the database MongoDB. This is the return statement so that we can see the view in the web application. Same we are doing in the CNN. This is our CNN URL. So we are getting the CNN top stories, RSS feeds. Then we are making that HTTP request. With that request, beautiful soap we are using for scraping the data. Same we are using pattern as we did in the BBC. In the data frames, we are saving the data. Then we are saving the data to CSV so that we can have a record. Then we are converting data frames to dictionary so that we can save the data in the MongoDB. This is the return statement. Then we are having two CNN and BBC CSVs. We are converting the two CSVs in one with the help of join statement, and we are using pandas in it. This is our final CSV in which we are having data of both the news channels. So we are using final CSV and we are passing the final CSVs in the function, and we are having now we have to do semantic analysis. So we are doing semantic analysis. In this we are passing the BBC title. In this we are passing the CNN title. So with the help of blob, text blob library, we are getting the analysis polarity. So this is what we are getting, polarity. After that we are checking the polarity. It's negative, positive or neutral. So as if it's less than 0, it would be negative. If it's greater than 0, it would be positive, else neutral. Then we are saving the title, sentiment, polarity for BBC and CNN in the data frame. After that we are saving the data in CSV, and then we are converting the data frames to the dictionary so that we can save in the MongoDB. This is a localhost port. So basically this is our index.html which we are doing starting in the initial. This is a localhost BBC link. This we can create any link as per a requirement. This is CNN link. We are choosing 2 buttons, and this is our text which we want to appear on the buttons. This is the image. We just use this image for the designing purpose. This is our style. We are using the styles for the button styles. And this is a title H1, and this is the date which we want to show on the index page. This is our BBC document. We are using the table because we want to show the data in the table format. So we are using table, and it will taking all the entries one by one. Same HTML we are using for CNN also, because we are saving the same type of pattern in both. So this is our CSV, final CSV, on which we'll do the visualization. So in this we are saving polarity, title, polarity, so that we can have that, and we are saving in database also so that we can see in the end. After that, Pratima will explain about the database, what we did in the database. So basically this is the polarity code, how it looks like. Next, Pratima will explain how we are using MongoDB, how we are doing the code in MongoDB, why we are using MongoDB. She'll explain everything. Thank you.
Database migration. So now let's look what we have done in database migration. We have scrapped the data from 2 news outlets, that is BBC News and CNN News. So in BBC News, from BBC News we have collected the BBC title, BBC description, BBC link and BBC date. So from CNN news articles, we have collected CNN title, CNN description, CNN link, and CNN date. After scraping the data collected, we have used MongoDB as our destination database. So in this, what we have done. So first we have created a database named news, and then we have used 2 data frames. One is feed BBC and feed CNN to store the news articles from BBC and CNN. So in this, for each article, it generates a unique ID. So why did we choose MongoDB as our destination database? First, let's look into some advantages of MongoDB. First, it is document oriented, which means data is stored in the form of documents. It is a NoSQL type database, and data is not in the relational type format. This makes MongoDB very flexible and adaptable to real business situation. So let's look into the next advantage, ad hoc queries. What are ad hoc queries and what is the use of them in MongoDB? So MongoDB, using ad hoc queries, the searching really becomes very fast in MongoDB. Using ad hoc queries, you can search by field, range queries, and regular expressions. So queries can be made to retrieve specific fields within the documents. Next advantage is indexing. With indexing, it improves the performance of searches in MongoDB. In MongoDB, any field in the document can be indexed. So the next advantage is replication. Replication, by the name, we can understand that it's duplication of something. So what is the advantage by replication? MongoDB can provide high availability with the replica sets. And the other advantage is load balancing. How this is achieved in MongoDB? In MongoDB, the data is split among multiple MongoDB instances. These multiple MongoDB instances can run on multiple servers, balancing the load and duplicating the data to keep the system up. And also, in case of hardware failure, this load balancing is really very useful. This is all about database migration in the project.
Hi, so I'm Kaviraj. So I will be presenting the demo for our sentiment analysis web application that we have created using Python. Yes. So we'll quickly go through our code and run the code. Let's go to our localhost created web application. So yeah, this is our home page for our created web application. So there will be two links, BBC top stories and CNN top story, that we have extracted from BBC News and CNN News. So first of all, we'll go through the BBC News, and first of all, we'll go through our database, which shows that there is no collection created right now, just to prove that the data is being stored once we click into the BBC News link on the web application that we have created. So there's no feed BBC and feed CNN right now. So let's quickly go through BBC top stories. Yeah, so this is the latest data extracted from the BBC News right now. It's in the form of data frames. So for example, the coronavirus PM promises future independent query. This description should be on the BBC News, right? So I'll quickly cross check with the BBC News. So I'll refresh this page. Yeah, as we can see, this is coming directly from this page. And simultaneously for the second one, the Matt Hancock rejects of coronavirus is, yeah, all related coronavirus news will be updated in the top stories here. And now we'll look whether the data of this data frame is stored in the database of MongoDB or no. We'll quickly refresh this page, just a second. Let's go collection. Yeah, feed BBC News has been collected. This is the collection under the database name News. See, we have the title, description, link, and date stored in our database. And it's been in the structure manner as well. It can handle the non-structured data, but we have created a data frame which is a structured data, and we are storing directly into this one. And we'll go back to our web page. We'll quickly summarize with the CNN as well. This is the CNN news description that we have extracted. So the data on COVID patient will quickly refresh and cross check. See, this is the data coming up from that. The data on COVID, analysis on Trump, All related COVID terms and coronavirus term or virus term will be extracted to our web page. So yeah, this is the whole idea of getting the data here. So simultaneously we'll go back to the database to cross check whether it's the feed CNN has been updated or no. Yeah, the feed CNN is updated now. It's been created and it's stored in our database with the similar title to the feed BBC. So this database will be used in creating the visualization in the next part. And there is one more semantic where we are creating the polarity and finding out whether it's a positive or a negative sentiment. So we'll be storing this as well, and we'll be using this data for the visualization part. This is all the data. It's the combination of similar title of BBC and CNN into one, and we'll be comparing whether the sentiment of BBC and the CNN is same or no. And this will be done in the visualization part. Yes, that's all for the demo part. Thank you so much. So next will be visualization part done by Sargun Singh Walia.
Now let's have a look at the visualization of gathered data by sentiment analysis, which was done through Tableau. The dashboard shows three visualizations done on the data filtered for a recent cause, that is coronavirus. Let's see what each chart depicts about the sentiment. Let's first look at the polarity news chart that's in here. Polarity basically refers to the sentiment orientation. That is, the news sentiment can either be a positive, negative, or a neutral sentiment. A positive polarity displays a happy or a good news, while negative displays the quite opposite. So polarity was captured through the news headlines, as the headlines can be neutral, negative, or positive. Here we can see that two sources, that is BBC and CNN, have been taken into consideration. We can see that the majority of news are neutral, as can be shown as here are 12 and 11 respectively. But there are also positive as well as negative news. The next chart that says channel analysis displays a week's record for the news for these two sources, that is from 7th to 13th July. And here is basically a count of how many news each channel gave about this topic. So we can see that this is the traffic count of news for the entire week, and it displays that on 13th of July there were many news for the coronavirus and related topics. So now there's this chart that I've made that basically is a word cloud, as we can see on the top. It takes the keywords from the headlines and displays them. So we can basically see since all the data is about coronavirus, so we can see that New York says there's no new deaths this month, and the Disney park has been shut down. People are concerned for the gym, pet abandonments. So these are basically the key words that, or the catchphrases that has been used in the news headlines. So now we'll see how this entire thing was done in Tableau. This is the dashboard, a screenshot of Tableau. So this was our data source, and polarity news. This was a chart made, and we've basically, the columns were of polarity and the title, how we've basically bifurcated them, and the count of polarity. And here was the keywords that we've gathered. The channel analysis was here, and this is how it was done. That date was kept in the columns, while the title and the count number was in the rows. So this came out to be the dashboard that we've made out here, and this was by far the visualizations that we've done. So thank you. That was all from our side. Any questions or queries are welcome. Thank you so much.